abusuya ya koyese ban Ghana abakwasemu a president bie no a wabetena Ghana konya so ekwa eye ne ho sem esore etese Nana Akufo-Addo se makana Nana Akufo-Addo ne record bebre the bad side and the good side bebre ewo channel so ana achemu na kamia koyese ne ho sem de enyansa nkra yete se ende ya yet say Ghana for na bi chirem say Mahama akonja wa betena so be 1 week ni ana say ayen say 1 week ni no na mambu a wa start finchim eche na do 8 years obi ka say wow yes na Mahama 1 week kono eche na do 8 years a odibu o man no entina enkrofo ka say ebi che say Mahama ebaye no unte say was Nanado, I say, Nanado, you say, apart from that, Nanado, Ebekwa, Ujai Ghana, 3 days fuela, or Modibe Patrol, Ghana, which is Ghana, like a latitude, no, your light, no, 3 days fuela, Nanado Jai Edema, John Dramani Mahama, so Omonfa and Patrol, like Omonfa and so Ghana Kanye, because Nanado nims all Canadian. O jai or planning doom so e attack John Dramani Mahama na Mahama ba no matter how it is ontimi facing ti dey doom so no everything aba na eno ene ade a Mahama surprising crofo Mahama hu sa no ofre ema omode emergency fuel buy ya eno etimi ayaboa Ghana like Ghana anka doom so was Ghana for ete and that's o mu firi emra o tena konya no so because o tena konya na say aka 5 hours fuel na nke betimi aye adwuma wo Ghana mama ebo modern ema omode emergency fuel buy ya eno atimi boa Ghana ko ben say on be prepare ye normal fuel ye de be boa electricity no na ko piem wo new takrade a chese youth no ka say omo mpena nado state you no na say die first omuko omuko pirado omuko pirado na do state you na odi akosi new takrade no na say die omo ampira ne bi mo say die omo kokondem no omo apeche no kora omo apeche no chese omo peche niti chese anka na do anka say this odi anka by this time anka Ghana yenya yie kese pa senia aso we president bi yenim president kro Mr. Mama fa enya na do ye ade e fa wuo ho de fine ma me pese ye de be tag you because enye adepa what you say and say ni pan nye but Nanado no one good side and one bad side obeye bi bema be bi anye ni nyina just the bad side no ene doso ema Ghana for no na ukọ new takrade si as I run about Nanado sambo ne way no state we nesi won se si amena ka say de ya pecha no kra ya no condemn kra na ye ba be ko niama du a omode abeto abonten anase 3 FM4 edi abeto abonten se niama du a Nanado je
kaka o pe waye da mo ni ya se wada Akufo-Addo Akufo-Addo fo
Akufo-Addo na wasi oye ka na obubu no
oye ka
ni pedesi no
ni pedesi no be de madi ni pedesi no be de madi Akufo-Addo
nti pocho yi won timi nya no foforo
you accept one year bi o na one na say wa be Akufo-Addo fo
mo share wa ka we pa
wa kam pa da wa nya da ko mo sompo no ye legacy pa mayen why you be cry why kaka me enwa
6 November so
6 November January wakada what this kwado bo bun ampa so ya no bo bun
asemo no what's the cameras na arabo ba de ban one captain poko na
ne say bo obe one day po be say we obe to do camera no
state you know na ya pecha no kra no ya condemn no kra na afi ye be kon niam du a se John Dramani Mahama ye mistake na oya esa Nanado ye ya Ghana for like omuntimi emfa Nanado bon enche no da anas omure fi niam Nanado de Ghana abefam no afi na ye be kosa niam du no nti abusuya ye chance ye Yes, I said there's someone winning Dino Edasu, Obi the IMB, Obi ba, and a Chandi, Obi ba DTV, Oba no like and watch and watch our comment. I go comment section or kama ama. So one subscribe page where I know about whom I subscribe, no turn notification bell at all. No follow me. All the social media handles. No, so say you X Abeka, your pages nonti. Follow all the social media handles. So baby na yanko and send Emma Kuba could do an annual Makuba could do a yes, Nana do ya anka answer so oye. Emma Ghana for Ghana for the year MPP free akunyano so simple like adia AC abakwase mu da empo JJ Lawrence obetina Ghana akunya so 32 years emdru so omoto one kofo so abanas NDC ni MPP no saa de no po ansi NDC obi anka ye beka so Ghana for afono no for 32 years no saa de no kra ansi ebitimi AC de bedi ano no Nana Akufo-Addo penso no yanko ne nkotie niama du yes Nana Akufo-Addo ye na minim se wankasa obeji atu se ye NDC ne so ye MPP ni mekasa ma Ghana de bia mekasa asem chow menya politics channel we so mekasa as Ghana citizen as Ghana mind papa yanko ha sa niama du no ne ye ba ye beto aso.
Mr. President, good morning to you. Congratulations to you, Mr. John Dramani Mahama. These are 10 sins of President Akufo-Addo that you should never be seen to be repeating. 10 sins. And please pay attention to me. I am not qualified to advise any president. But by virtue of the fact that I practice as a journalist and I have a platform, I think that my small voice can be heard. 10 sins of President Akufo-Addo that must never be repeated by you. Number 1, do not be a clearing agent. Number 1, don't be a clearing agent. May it never be said about you that your appointees are seen committing wrongs, and then you are the first to come to their aid to say it wasn't them. They did nothing wrong. Whether it is Australian visa scandal or Cecilia Dapa's money or whatever it is, may it not be you who will be called a clearing agent. In the past, you have done it before. You have jailed your own appointees before. So that must continue. If you really mean Operation Recover or Loot, that must continue. May you never ever allow yourself to be called a clearing agent. Because you see, the confidence that Ghanaians reposed in you at the polls has never happened in this country before. The last time anybody came close to what you have was Nana Akufo-Addo. He had a lot of goodwill. 2017, a lot of goodwill. Then the goodwill started dwindling when he decided that he wasn't going to listen to anybody. They asked him, tone down the number of ministers. He said, oh, no, I know where I'm going. I'm in a man in a hurry, all of those things. After 8 years, we knew where we were. So may it not be said about you that you are a clearing agent. Number 2, may it not be said about you that you are the mother serpent of all corruption. It's another sin of Akufo-Addo that he never was able to cleanse himself of. Mother serpent of all corruption. May it never be said about you. Sin number 3, wastefulness. Wastefulness, where we prioritize a chair in an air-conditioned V8, fully fueled by the resources of the state, carried by 2 able-bodied people, plus a driver, while the children in Tolong, Yong, and Sang, the children in my beloved Bogu, and all the 47 villages therein, were learning with their stomachs on the floor. May it never be said about you that you valued, how people will perceive you over the lives of the people that you swore with the state sword to protect and honor. May it not be said about you. May it not be said about you that you took our state resources and put it on a private plane and put Sewa Bruni on it. May it not be said about you. I'm saying these are 10 sins of Nana Akufo-Addo that you should never repeat. 10. 10 sins, 10. That Sarah Brony will be granting interviews now to Kevin Taylor and the rest and telling them stuff that we should ordinarily not be hearing. With photos flying around. May it not be said about you. May it not be said about you. May it not be said about you. May it not be said about you that you came to perfect the family and friends government. The previous government complained of mounting out of a mold out of the family and friends. In the end, we saw how many family members were in the government, how many friends and cronies and assigns were in the government. May it not be said about you. We are talking about 10 sins of Akufo-Addo. May it not be said about you that you took money that you were not supposed to take, dipped your hand into people's pockets, and put the biggest hole ever, most expensive ever in the world, Akufo-Addo Cathedral. May it not be said about you. That is the height of wastefulness. And a proper probe must go into it. All those people who were around it, who chopped around it, who chopped inside it, who chopped outside it, who chopped beside it, who chopped on top of it, who chopped under it, all those people, they must be dealt with. You chop on top, you chop under, you chop side, you chop inside, you chop around. National Cathedral. It was not a national cathedral. It was President Akufo-Addo's own pledge to his God that if you give me a second term, I will build you a cathedral. How that thing metamorphosed from a personal cathedral to a national cathedral where we were spending monies that we were told we would not spend, where we were now spending monies that had not been approved by Parliament. May it not be said about you that you did a similar thing. That hole there has become a biggest national embarrassment. And some of the voices in this country, very, very deep voices, respected voices, were associated with it. May it not be said about you. May it not be said about you that you did that. May it not be said about you. Mr. President, may it not be said about you that you took your hand and put it inside the pocket of pensioners, of people who needed their savings and their investment to buy their BP medication, diabetes medication, whatever. May it not be said about you that you did DDEP. After mismanaging everything, that you did DDEP. You see, when you came in, you came to inherit a situation where our fuel tanks were empty. When you were leaving, Mr. Wadaku left 6 months of strategic fuel for national security reasons in the tanks. When you came in, you met an empty tank. That's why you have quickly appointed Mr. Jinapo, Dr. Forsing, and then Dr. Ayine, because you want to quickly solve that particular matter. And yesterday, some people were asking, oh, how much did the National Thanksgiving Service cost? I say, Chairman, you are asking how much the National Thanksgiving Service cost. That's good. Ask of it. But did you spend time to ask how much the National Cathedral was costing the taxpayer? You see, when you ask of Thanksgiving service and you don't ask of the National Cathedral, it shows that you are unintelligent and it shows that you are not applying common sense. The Oxford English Dictionary says anybody who is not applying common sense and demonstrates unintelligence is stupid. So if you ask for one because it relates to another political regime, and you don't ask of another, the Oxford English Dictionary says you are demonstrating unintelligence and lack of common sense, and together that is stupid. So you are telling everybody by your question that you are stupid. Forgive my French. And these are educated people. Now, the other one is do not grab and give to your children. Do you understand? I see your children around you, Sharaf and all those. Don't grab what belongs to the state and give to your children. You grab ambulance servicing deal when there's no company and you give to your children. You grab this land and you give to your child. You grab this one and you give. You grab this one, boyfriend, take. You grab this one. May you not be seen grabbing and giving. It's one of the sins of President Akufo-Addo that you should not repeat. There's another sin. May you not be seen disrespecting chiefs and kings in this country, where your bodyguard, who is supposed to be a chief, will now use his left hand to signal chiefs who are greater and higher. I am a gun. The chief of Alajo is not bigger than some of those chiefs that he was signaling with his left hand to get up. He's not. He's a sub-chief, pretty much like me. Right? And using your left hand to signal for chiefs who are bigger and greater than you to get up. Using your left hand. You know what it means? We should look. And even as the citizens, those of us who queued in the sun, whether they voted for you or they did not vote for you, you must respect the citizens. Chiefs particularly, kings particularly, queens particularly, don't be seen disrespecting them and asking them to get up to greet you. No, no, no. Don't be seen to be doing that. And by extension, all the citizens. Is one of the sins that Akufo-Addo committed that the people never forgave him. So he lost the elections in 2024 for MPP and Dr. Bawumia. That was what President Akufo-Addo did. Yeah. He lost the elections for the MPP. And nobody could say it. It is after the defeat. It is after the defeat that everybody in the party now is talking. I heard Mr. Kojo Mpienu the other time talking. Say, we hijacked the party. I said, you are now speaking. They are now speaking. Why didn't you speak then? May it not be seen that you disrespect chiefs, kings and queens. No. May it not be seen that you are just handpicking people to appoint because they may have contributed some money or whatever it is. No. It's one of the sins. Don't do that. May it not be seen that you are more interested in traveling in private jets and hiring expensive jets that the people of Ghana cannot pay for. You say we are in dire straits. You have seen the books. You have seen what is inside the books, Mr. President. It's time for us to be austere. And if we have to be austere, flying private jets is not part of being austere. Maybe last two, and then we'll wrap. Please, create real jobs, not slogans. Create real jobs, not slogans. We have had too many slogans. I can ask a 12-year-old, 10-year-old to recite the slogan. They will recite all the slogans. But people are still unemployed. It's one of the sins that you must flee from. Create real jobs and not slogans. And then finally, Mr. President, make it a point to meet 19. He failed to meet the press until he left power. He failed to meet the press. He failed to meet the press. You should not fail to meet the press. I remember when you were president, you had accounting to the people. I remember that. The president, former President Akufo-Addo, started very well. And then in 2019, truncated it. That was the last time. He never met the press again. Now he was meeting school children to tell them why Dr. Bawumia was the expert. Don't repeat that sin, Mr. President. Meet the press. Hear the questions. Take the bullets. It will help you to understand what's going on the ground. Don't surround yourself with sycophants who will be singing your praise and who will be very dismissive of the plight of the people. I said, when I started Johnny's Bite, there were 2 presidential staffers who came here at different times, driving in our V8, fueled in our V8, came here to tell me that we cannot sustain Johnny's Bite beyond 6 months. They came here to tell me that. After 2 years, they came back to say, oh, they said we can't sustain it, but they beg. Now we should. I said, no, we are creating content, putting content and educating the people and enlightening them. What do we do here? We pick a portion of the Constitution, we read, we explain. We pick a letter, we read, let the retirees go, all those things. So the people were better informed. Don't keep sycophants around you, because those same sycophants found themselves closer to the center of power. They were so dismissive even of research by Musa Dankwa and the rest. Insulted them, denigrated them, character assassinated them. Today, the reality is staring all of us in our face. So these are 10 sins. Maybe sometime we'll continue.
Abusia, mami wa adwo comment section ase. So we nim me de nyama na adu ye ya eye no meka ho asem. Nyama oye ya anya no so meka ho asem. Sana Mahama be nyama obe ye eye no meka ho asem. Enya meka ho asem. Mami ho adwe ebia se oye MPP no ye NDC ni de bia meka se Ghana ye ane ye e wo channel we so. Mami ho adwe comment section ase. Men fele men stro so bibia wo se e kyewa adwe bia odegu comment section ho ama me da se nen so onya mle e be hwe video yi makra mo bye bye.